Let's take you to Ottawa now, where the government is unveiling Canada's newly redesigned passport, featuring several new security features. Let's listen.
And I look forward to the grand reveal. Our passport is recognized around the world, and this new design will not only be more secure and reliable, but I believe it will also continue to inspire pride in the hearts of those who carry it. Sean will have more to say about this in a few minutes, but I do want to speak to the current passport. As passports are issued throughout the summer and months ahead, some Canadians will still receive the older version of the passport as Service Canada works through remaining stock and printing capacity comes online. For those who have recently received an up-to-date passport, you will still be carrying the older version of the passport for years, myself included. I got a 10-year passport back in 2020, so I'm going to keep going with that older generation. In fact, depending on when you receive it, you might have it for up to 10 years. And it's important to know that the previous generation of this passport remains secure and reliable. Nous continuerons à offrir aux Canadiens une expérience de
Continue
haute
to be
qualité
offering Canadians a high-quality experience from the time they submit their application until they receive their new passport. I recognize that this service standards were down last year. We had a year where an increase in demand for passport services outpaced our possibilities of response. We made every effort possible to eliminate those delays, and we've also now reestablished service standards to the quality that Canadians expect.
Last year, Service Canada has been delivering nearly all passports within our 10 and 20-day target, with approximately 99% issued within service standards. And the recent labour disruption in the federal public service has caused Service Canada to enter a bit of a catching-up period. During the labour disruption, we did lose a week of processing time. So there may be some longer lineups and processing times during this recovery. However, we have yet to see this, and we are fully prepared. Entre-temps, nous avons apporté
In the
d'autres
meantime,
améliorations
we have made other improvements to help Canadians take benefit of more modern and effective services. In March, we launched a new status verification tool for passport applications. It is an easy-to-use tool that allows Canadians to check the status of their passport applications online 24/7. Canadians can expect the government to take other important measures to modernize the passport system. Service Canada is ready to launch the new book in due course. Thank you, and now I pass the floor to Sean. Thank you, Corinne and Marie-France.
Today we've got exciting news as we unveil the new design of the Canadian passport. Our passport's one of the most trusted travel documents anywhere in the world, in part because of the relationships that we have with so many other countries, but also because of the technologies and improvements that we continue to make in our travel documents that protect their authenticity and the security of our passport. I
am pleased to unveil the next generation of Canada's passport. It provides a new and updated appearance and security features. In addition to the new cover, the inner page still highlights the 4 seasons and Canada's diverse peoples.
Canada's redesigned next generation passport that adds a new and improved look as well as many improved security features. Along with the new cover, the inside pages feature artwork highlighting Canada's diverse people, landscapes, and wildlife across the 4 seasons. One of the most amazing parts of our country is that we are so proud of our natural landscapes. It's a key part of our heritage, from the East Coast, where I call home, to the Arctic, from the Rockies to the prairies, the historic district in Old Quebec, and the Redwoods in BC. Not to mention Canada's many lakes, rivers, and parks. We're very lucky to call this place home, and I think it's one of the most amazing countries in the world. La nouvelle conception du passeport du Canada
The new design of Canada's passport will reflect the natural beauty of our country, our multicultural identity, as well as our spirit. It contains certain distinctive features, such as our lakes and aurora borealis, as well as contributions of our Indigenous peoples to Canada's passport.
Have new updated features, including state-of-the-art security features that include a polycarbonate data page. This is the same technology that's used to protect our currency and driver's license, for those who are wondering what it means. Additionally, passport holders' personal information will now be laser engraved instead of being printed with ink, which is going to make the data page more durable and resistant to tampering and counterfeiting. And some other features include a kinogram over the main photo, a custom see-through window with a secondary image of the passport holder, a variable laser image, and temperature-sensitive ink feature that will assure we're dealing with authentic documents. The new security features are going to help ensure Canadian passports remain one of the most secure, reliable, and universally accepted travel documents anywhere in the world. The new
security features will ensure that Canada's passport will remain one of the most reliable and secure travel documents that is universally accepted.
If you'll join us here as we unveil some of the design features. Mary France and Karina, if you will. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Now, there's usually a slick way you can pull them and they come. Yes. There you go. Wonderful. Look, folks, this is what the new Canadian passport is going to look like. I've had a chance to leaf through the travel document. It's a pretty special document, not only that it captures some of Canada's natural heritage, but of course the security features that I described as well are going to position Canada as a leader when it comes to protecting the authenticity of our travel documents over the course of the next generation. These new passports are going to start to be produced this summer, and rollout details will be announced very soon in the near future. The current passport, as Minister Gold mentioned, remains secure and reliable, and Canadians can still use it until its expiry date. When you submit a renewal application, the passport program is going to provide you with a new one. And before we take questions, I'd like to add just one more thing. Starting this fall, Canadians will be able to renew their passports through an online application, which will include payment processing and uploading their passport photo as well. As of this
fall, Canadians will be able to renew their passports online. This will include payment processing and uploading of their passport photo.
The federal government is going to continue to work to improve our services and security for Canadians. This passport update is one of the many efforts that's going to improve travel and security. And we continue to work toward a country that reflects the shared values of all Canadians. We have so much to celebrate about being Canadian, whether it's our amazing landscapes, our natural environment, or to the values of diversity and inclusion. My sense is that the new passport design, which was the result of consultation with a number of different groups that provided feedback, reflects who we are as Canadians and is going to help ensure the security of our travel document and universal acceptance for many years to come. Thank you so much. Merci tout le monde. C'est un plaisir d'être ici avec vous.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure to be here with you this morning.
Thank you. Are you going to MC? Do we have questions now? Well, yes. Excellent.
We'll now start the questions, first from the floor, and then we'll rotate to the line. It's one question, one follow-up. Please give your name and outlet first.
Thank you, Bahuz. Chris Nardi from the National Post. So first question, I'm looking at these new designs. So it looks like we replaced a lot of, the iconic imagery of Canada's past with a little bit more, non-facial expressions. Explain to me a bit that decision, why you removed historic moments and replaced them with this.
You want me to?
We can tag team it.
Sure. Look, I'll go first, and if Karina has anything to supplement, we'll allow her to share a few thoughts as well. The design was a result of a consultation with a number of different government departments and stakeholders, including Canadian Heritage, including Indigenous communities, and we tried to take the feedback about what represents Canada. One of the things that we heard is that we want to celebrate our diversity and inclusion. We want to celebrate our natural environment through the consultation process and try to bake those elements into the design. One of the other items that is lost on a lot of people who don't think about passport design every day is the fact that we need to continually change the designs. Countries around the world, when they update their passports, tend not to just tinker with the edges, but go for entirely new themes as part of the security features. When you consistently update wholesale the details from a design point of view for your passport, including the illustrations that find their way into the document, it makes it much harder to counterfeit. It can take a number of years for sophisticated participants in criminal organizations or counterfeit operations to actually catch up to new designs. And by continuing to update wholesale the contents of the passport, we make it more difficult for those who would seek to take advantage of Canada's travel documents.
Not much more to add other than I think when you look at the images here, I mean, these are fairly traditional Canadian images. I mean, if you look at polar bears and people jumping into a lake and birds in the winter, I mean, I think it really captures the spirit of who we are as Canadians.
And then in terms of production and cost, give me an idea. Is the production more complicated? Is it going to be a longer delay before you receive the passport? And will it impact the cost for a passport application?
So there will be no impact to the cost of the passport. The cost remains the same. One thing that's important to know for the rollout is that if you go get a passport today, you're probably not going to get this new design. We still have existing stock of the previous generation, and so we don't need everybody rushing out to go get this new passport. It will be rolled out over the course of the next year, and so there's no way for you to know if you're applying, if you're going to get the older version or the new version. Both are excellent, both are going to be great, but we're going to do it in a way that manages the existing inventory so that, we're using taxpayers' dollars effectively.
Hi, Tom Perry, CBC. Why did you get rid of the historic imagery? Did you hear complaints from some stakeholders that they took offense to some of the images in the passport? I'm just wondering why you moved away from historic images to more generic ones.
So there's no feedback we received that says people found our history offensive. I think to just shine a further light on the response I gave previously, there's really two elements that led to the passport design. One was the consultation process, where we received a significant amount of feedback on the need to celebrate our natural environment, to celebrate the diversity of Canada's peoples, more so than simply historical artifacts or symbols that we're all still very proud of and that remain part of our passport that's valid today. But we did want to go for a completely new design, in part to protect the security features. If you maintain elements that may have existed in the previous design, it becomes easier to counterfeit the Canadian passport, which is something we want to protect against. So when we go through the next renewal, many years from now, I expect there will be further changes that modify the design in a significant way. And this was meant to reflect a different part of Canada's heritage, in particular our natural environment and the diversity of our people and wildlife.
Can I possibly get that answer in French? Is it possible for... I'm just wondering...
Je vais essayer. J'ai envie de pratiquer mon français, mais
I would love to practice my French. But maybe you would also like to, Karina? We took time to reflect on the responses from people who took part in the consultation process. People who participated in the consultation process said that it was very important that we celebrate Canada's environment and the diversity of our communities, including the Indigenous community. It was time for a new document, and therefore it was also time to update the theme to make the passport more secure.
I hope that was okay. My French is still a work in progress. Maybe Karina, if you want to add.
All right, we were just listening to Federal Ministers Karina Gould and Minister Sean Fraser at the Ottawa Airport unveiling Canada's newly redesigned redesigned passport that features several new security features like temperature-sensitive ink, laser printing, some see-through windows on some pages, making it more difficult to copy or produce counterfeit passports. The designs are said to feature artwork that highlights Canada's diverse people and Four Seasons. There's also a new cover. And those with older passports, they'll continue to carry the old passports until they expire, but people who are applying for new passports may later on in the year receive one of these newer designs as the government continues to work through the old stock until that stock is done with.